Hi, this is Dr. Graves with the CSUN Geography Department. This is part 2 of the Doughnut Lab for Geography 107, where you left off. You had joined census tract information, this, to your trade areas, these. And this map is just showing that this trade area here in yellow is, in terms of shape, or total area, is very large. It may not be the one that has the largest population or the most income. In order to calculate the overall purchasing power, which is what most business owners look for, we need to multiply the total number of people by the average income in the neighborhood. In order to do that, or inside the trade area, in order to do that, we need to take an intermediate step of saving this Thiessen polygon file as a new layer, which will cement the join, the spatial join that we did in the previous step. So it's simply a matter of right-clicking on the Thiessen polygon or trade area that you have created and click on Data and export the features. This is really the same as Save As in most Windows operations. I'm going to click in the Output Feature class window here and rename this Trade Areas. Now you can leave it as Doughnut Shop's Export Feature, but I want to call it Trade Areas simply to help you see how this works more easily. We're just going to keep all of the fields, and that's just going to not be necessary to change anything. So click OK, and a identical sort of copy of this should appear. I'm going to turn the old layer off and then right click on Trade Areas, my new layer, and I want to open the attribute table. Scroll to the right and you will see a column called Purchasing Power. If you right click on Purchasing Power, or a two-finger click in an apple, you want to select from the pop-up window Calculate Field. And to calculate the field, we want to change to an arcade expression, and we want to calculate purchasing power by multiplying what? We'll multiply the number of people in each trade area. So I'm double clicking on population, click multiply or type in an asterisk, and then we're going to double click on income, which is, as you recall, the average or mean income of the neighborhood. Close parentheses, make sure you have an open and close parentheses, and then we could use this, but it turns out to be a very large number, so we're going to divide this number by 1 million. So that's a 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, and click OK. And the purchasing power has been created. We can then switch over on our primary symbology. If this window isn't open, right click on Trade Areas and click on Symbology, and let's map the purchasing power by clicking selecting graduated colors and then switching to purchasing power. And then we see that when you combine areas that have a great number of people and that they're wealthy, you have a good bit more donut buying power. These areas in yellow have both small populations multiplied by sometimes smallish average incomes in the neighborhood, and perhaps they would not be the ideal place to add yet another donut shop. Once again, if you want to expand the number of classes and change from natural breaks to something like equal interval, it helps you visualize those neighborhoods that have a great deal of purchasing power versus those that don't. And in this case, the darker the color, the less or the least purchasing power, and these areas in the lighter colors have lots of people with lots of money. This is essentially the end of the tutorial. You have a handful of questions to answer about where you might open or might not want to open a new donut shop based on this map. Of course, if you were in an advanced course on this, that we would do a lot more counting traffic and understanding who actually buys donuts. It could be that these areas are a bunch of health food nuts, and that's the reason there are so few donut shops in the neighborhoods that seem to have few, and that other areas may have a population that really loves donuts, and so it makes more sense to open it in there. There are good jobs to be had doing this kind of analysis for all sorts of companies, including companies that have hired CSUN graduates like Chipotle, Walgreens, Chick-fil-A, Lowe's, Home Depot, and many more. So if you really like this, consider taking upper division class in geography, where students learn how to select the best site for business. This ends this second video tutorial on the Doughnut Lab.